Yes, it is Saturday. It is the 23rd of December 2017. Happy holidays, everybody, and welcome back to another MCC News. Yes, there are some things to cover. I didn't think there would be going up, especially to the holiday period, and I thought even the end of the year that we could go a long stretch of time without something or some things happening or news articles that really need to be covered for the community. So I'm going to do just that. So let's unfortunately talk about game performance, because this is an issue again. Obviously, from last time, we thought that, well, these great outages was something in particular to do with servers. But unfortunately, it looks like there is extensive issues when it comes to just general performance on high impact periods for the game, with an extensive amount of players playing over the holiday period. In particular, lag being a big issue, but there have been other instances that myself and another person that I've been conversating with in chat, they do experience the same thing, and that isn't good. That isn't good for holiday time. If we can say that it's about 1 to 2 million people playing at one given time, that's a big overload on the servers. But at the same time, there needs to be certain things of consistency, like blocks, like parries. Those two things are kind of essential for your playing and your experience of the game. I've had some really annoying and frustrating instances, in particular facing off against Modok, in particular facing off against Ice Phoenix, against even general things in Arena, where it's a case that I would have my finger down on the screen and I would be hit. So those blocks are definitely not working, and I'm not alone. This was posted on the 20th of December 2017. It was then answered by Kabam Wolf, who says, "Hey, I just wanted to touch base and let you know that the issue you've reported with dropped blocks, champs standing still, evading during combos are still being looked into. Additionally, the report issues with help requests causing lag are also worked on. Thanks for bearing with us." But it seems to this day, and fairly recently for me, it was a case around about between 1 and 2 p.m. GMT time today that I was experiencing times when the blocks, even with finger down, I was still getting hit through, regardless of any kind of like champions changes, like unblockable things like that. None of the champions benefited from that, but I was finding I was getting hit. And then a fellow player, as I said, was kind of talking to me and saying like, hey, you know, I'm experiencing these issues. And then a few others as well have experienced the same thing. There was a time as well that the game dropped for me with regards to connectivity between 1 p.m. and 2 p.m. GMT time. I'll be quite curious, and if you could let me know in the comment section whether or not you experienced that outage as well. There was definitely nothing on the forums to pinpoint that we had emergency maintenance of any kind. So yeah, bit disappointing so far with that. And obviously, if you're experiencing the same issues that I have, then put it in the forum post. The link is always in the description for any things that I discuss in MCC News. Our next story kind of follows on. I know a lot of people in this particular chat for Captain Marvel's SP2 shouted me out. They shouted Seaton out as well to kind of like talk about this. And it's something that obviously this is good for MCC News because we've covered it in the past. And as someone that has a Captain Marvel, yeah, it's pretty frustrating. So if you have a Captain Marvel, you really notice sometimes that you get a bit of, well, SP2 not landing, and it is incredibly frustrating. This forum post was started a long ass time ago, and it will continue going on until they've pretty much rectified it. And the only response that we've got so far that's, well, anything, is Kabam Wolf saying on the 21st of December, "Hey folks, as mentioned before, this issue is more complex than originally thought. If it were as simple as just making the special unblockable, that would be great, wouldn't it? We would do that. I will post an update once I have information about a fixed version. Thanks." As of today, there's no real answer with regards to this being rectified. I hope that we see something better in the new year with regards to this champion. A champion that myself I use quite a bit. And I really do enjoy using Captain Marvel. I use her all the time in Alliance questing and a lot of time in standard questing. But I never really kind of utilized that SP2 as based on what I've seen so far, what I've experienced over the last year or two. It's just not been, definitely the last year, it's not been a good 2017 for this champion's SP2. And it probably would be case for them just to kind of make it better. Even the idea of the unblockable seems like a good temporary fix, and then coming up with something with regards to the way that champion and other champions kind of interact would be at least something. I know a lot of people will go, no, she doesn't deserve to have the SP2 unblockable, But temporary fixes, yeah, that could really work as a temporary fix. Not long term though, but maybe we can give them another year for that. Our next story is all about a cool little suggestion, which is all about the collector's crystal. This is the 1 to 2 star crystal. If you remember, it was in the 7-day tournament arena thingy where you got this 5-star shards back along a couple of weeks ago. And the great thing about it is they were like, people were like, oh yeah, we like this, which is kind of cool. People really resonated with it. And December 13th, we saw this post, which was all about trying to get it into the Crystal Cornucopia or in the Crystal Splash arena that goes on Sundays and runs for 24 hours. A lot of people like it, some people don't. It's a bit of kind of chalk and cheese with regards to people's interest in that particular arena. However, though, it got a new Kabama, which I've not seen before, Kabam Portos. Yeah, Kabam Portos. You know, he goes with Kabam Athos, Kabam Aramis, and even Kabam D'Artagnan, and they form the 3 and 4 Musketeers. We've got to complete the collection, it seems. And with all that swashbuckling aside, what are your thoughts on this? Do you think that we should add that 1 to 2 star collector's crystal into those kind of milestones? What are your thoughts? Should we, shan't we? Should it be just for Splash but not for the Cornucopia? Yeah, maybe they could change it up a little bit so it's not Prem Hero Shards, but maybe something else. Suggestions in the comments below, and even to this forum post, give your suggestions on the topic. So Kabam have delivered a little bit earlier than scheduled. I thought this was the case, this would be on Sunday, but they obviously must not work Sundays, so therefore it's all about the Saturday delivery, and it's all about the last week game outages, and all about the compensation that we have now had. I was a little bit surprised to see 5-star hero shards. I think they're being thrown around a lot more kind of easily nowadays, and it's just that case they're being dishing out left, right and center. It needs to be like regardless of certain kind of placements in the game wherever you're rated. It's not a bad thing, but at the same time it's not a good thing. However, though, we've seen, and talking about this in particular, the energy refills, the revives and the health potions are really nice touch to have in the game. As well, it's going to help people out to kind of get through certain aspects, especially with Ice Phoenix and Modok like being quite frustrating with regards to Uncollected. I'm sure players will really kind of warm to this, as well as people's grind in Act 5 continuing on. A lot of people are trying to get that done, so that's something that's pretty cool. It's nice to see that, and I think a lot of people will be pleasantly surprised with receiving those items over there. Kabam have also addressed the fact with regards to the champions that people missed out on, the Star-Lord and the chance at the Taskmaster. So those arenas will be returning back to the game in the future. Kabam have also wrapped up the kind of reparations when it comes to Modok's lab. Unfortunately, they've not made mention of what's happening with legend runs for the current monthly event, and that's something that would be quite interesting to find out how they're going to work that. If you kind of look at the fact that people would have started, the game would have had outages, and then it would have affected them in some sort of way, would they then theoretically give them like a free pass to grant them a Legends title based on that? Would they then allow them to have extended boosts and say have a go next month, but here's better boosts for you to go at? It's a very difficult one to kind of give an answer to, and I think Kabam are going to spend a lot of time deciding. It may even be forgotten with regards to the way they are sometimes. And our final story, and probably the most crucial story that we've got to talk about, and that's all about disclosing the odds with regards to loot box kind of mechanic systems, where randomizers or randomizing kind of like things that you purchase like crystals have to be disclosed by the game developer. This is something that has broke fairly recently. This is on the 21st of December. So Apple now, you'll find somewhere within the game app, they'll have to like say, you know, what the chance is like getting a, say, 5-star from a Grandmaster crystal. And you could even find that the Grandmaster crystal may go, or certain crystal kind of dynamics change based on this, because obviously people will then say, right, okay, if you buy the most expensive crystal, then obviously you get the better chance. Whether you're gonna like Kabam are gonna be happy about this, I doubt it, because if it's a case that it takes you want to get a 5-star out of a Grandmaster crystal, then you'll have that there, like how what percentage, which could be like 0.01% of getting a 5-star out of a Grandmaster. The same thing with regards to pulling a 5-star featured from a 5-star featured crystal. Is it at all possible? They have to disclose that information, and it will be a case that they'll have to disclose every single little thing with regards to pull rates and stuff, which is something that they've not liked to do at all. now they're going to have to do it. This has now gone into a forum post, and it has been posed the question to Kabam. Adora has responded to this one. I didn't think that anybody from Kabam would actually want to kind of respond to this, but she does it in quite well. So it says, hey summoners, we've touched on this subject a bit before, but it's just to re-emphasize, we adhere to any rules, regulations and laws that we are required to abide by. We are currently working with Apple to better understand these new guidelines, are still learning about them ourselves and what the impact of these changes will be. We don't have any further information to share or discuss at this time, but once that changes, we will of course let everyone know. And that obviously basically means that it's going to be incredibly difficult with regards to like how they disclose that, what they disclose of that, what players will really care to have that disclosed to them. And I think really the main thing players want to find out is that when they buy certain crystals, what are the chances of getting them. And it may be even going as far as saying like, well, okay, if I open up a crystal, I don't want to find out what the likelihood of me is getting a 2-star Ronin. I want to basically know, well, what am I more fairly likely to pull? What am I least likely to pull? And what am I going to pull? Those kind of crucial questions everybody is going to want to know. And for me, the most interesting one would probably be the Prem, like the chances of pulling a 4-star from a Prem. Because I am a pretty bit, I'm a master at that. The other thing is when it comes to Grandmaster crystals, what the chances of pulling a 5-star from that Grandmaster crystal. And then finally the featured 5-star, what are the chances of pulling the actual featured champion, not the sub-featured kind of pull, but they may even have that. It may say what you're likely to get from the basic 5-star pull, the sub-featured pull, and then the featured champion itself. That I think is what players really want to find out the information for, and that is going to be a bit of a game changer. It may even make people think twice with regards to getting the featured 5-star at all. They may say to themselves, right, okay, what I'm going to do instead is get a 5-star from the basic pool and wait until the champion that I really like goes into there. I'm definitely feeling that at the moment, and I'm saving up all of my 5-stars probably towards January, February time before I start kind of doing a big open. Actually, probably will be January because I need to strengthen my roster. So that is really the plan there, is kind of wait around and kind of better stuff coming into the basic, maybe even the 6th of Jan when, or kind of like 10th of Jan when new champions go in there. So that's my plans, but obviously it will really depend on what information is divulged to the community, and obviously divulged to any potential player of Marvel Contest of Champions in the future. And on that bombshell, it's time to end MCC News. Obviously, if it's a case that there's no more news until next year, then I wish you a happy holiday and a very prosperous new year to yourselves in 2018. For both of us, for the channel and for yourselves, whatever you're doing. Whether it's business, whether it's life, whatever you're planning, school, college, your studies. You know, you have a good one, whatever you're doing. And obviously, look in those in the description for those forum posts. Go over and kind of support the things, and kind of put your kind of comments against them, and tell Kabam where they can improve in certain ways. If there's any big deals and stuff with regards to the game, I'll be following them and kind of talking about them. So it could be another news. Hopefully there is. But if I don't see you, happy holidays, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Bye bye for now.